So on Friday they had an Animal Crossing Direct, which also, hey, shout out. That looked actually like I watched the entire thing. Actually, it actually shit ton of content. Like, I got some Animal Crossing fans that I know pretty well, and they told me they are immensely pumped up for this. Like a lot of content. There is going to be the last free update. That's coming out November 5th. So no more free updates that they've done in the past. But they are going to continue to make content in terms of the paid DLC with the Happy Summer Home or Happy Summer Paradise or whatever it was. I don't remember. What?
You can do it.
Yeah, it's one of the two. I don't remember what it was or something like that. But no more free updates, which I don't think anyone can complain about that considering they've been doing
they can.
Well, I mean, I know, but they've been doing free updates the past year and a half. They knew it was going to end sooner or later.
They don't care. The friggin' turnip prices are insane. They want more free content.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But, while all that was all said and good, none of us play Animal Crossing. Cool, whatever. The ending of this whole thing is what kind of got a lot of people talking because it's just like, Nintendo chose a really interesting way to reveal the pricing for the expansion pack for the Nintendo Switch Online. So this paid DLC, first off, is going to be included with the expansion pack as well. And for the expansion pack, it is going to be $50 for a year for their single membership or $80 a year for the family membership, which got a lot of people kind of pissed off about that because they look at like Xbox, they look at PlayStation, which is one reason I really wanted John on besides New World is because John has Game Pass. So it's a kind of, obviously Game Pass has however many amazing games, whatever, for a pretty good price. So he can give a really good, answer in terms of like just how lack of appealing this is for the Nintendo Switch Online and what they offer. Because I mean, with the expansion pack bringing in N64, I mean that's cool. That's nostalgia for us, right? Very limited library. It's good so far, but how much they're going to add? We've seen what they've done with NES and Super NES. They barely add shit. Sega Genesis, which I mean, I don't personally care about that. I mean, the game selection they had on there, none of it appealed to me except for Sonic. And now with the paid DLC for Animal Crossing, which by itself is priced at $25, right? So a lot of people seem to believe that being added on is what inflated the price up to $50. I actually don't think that's the case. I actually fully believe Nintendo was set on that $50 price, and they just threw that DLC in there to make it seem more appealing. You know what I mean? Because when this initially announced, we thought it was going to be like probably like a $10 increase for this, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe go up over time because we know Game Boy and Game Boy Color is coming. So what are your thoughts on this, with the pricing? I mean, I know you're not a big Nintendo guy, but with what they have offered, I mean, do you feel like $50 is like kind of ridiculous, especially since their servers eat ass?
I mean, I feel like $50 is a bit high, but it makes me curious. The whole fact that they are adding in the Animal Crossing DLC part of the expansion pass makes you wonder if they're doing that at such a high price point because they're going to do something similar to like what Game Pass does, and just as things come out, they automatically put it along with the expansion pass. So if you already have it, you'll get this content from this game or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they end up going that route in the future, I feel like the $50 price point might be better off once stuff comes out and there's actually some things behind it.
Right.
If they're doing just this $50 price point for the N64 stuff online and Sega Genesis stuff, Nintendo, you can't have my money.
Yeah, bingo. What about you, John?
I think by them phrasing it as the expansion pass, I think when we were originally talking about it, we said maybe a $10 increase. Then, like when Game Boy comes out or something like that, add $10 onto it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nintendo is looking at the end goal of it. Of eventually we'll have all of this stuff on there, but we don't want to keep adding different tiers for it if people only want part of it or that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna go ahead and jump to the end of it where it would be $50 at the end, but we don't have everything yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think they thought is like eventually it'll get there. So why not start there?
I actually agree 1,000%. I was talking about with someone earlier, and they just said, "Oh, $50 is just unreasonable, whatever." And I'm just like, with what's available right now, yeah, I would say it is.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when, again, I want to throw this out there, the servers eat ass. You can do a speed test for your Switch and pull in, like, let's say with like, Zach, I don't know your internet speeds, but I know John's, like me and John do a speed test. We'll pull like 75 megabytes per second. We do the same speed test on like a PlayStation or something, and we'll pull in like around what our actual, our actual speeds are. And as I saw someone else do it, on Twitter as an example. Like the servers eat ass, and we know that. But just from what is being offered with the small bit of N64, the Sega Genesis, and now just this DLC for a game that some people may not even have or want, the 50 is not worth it. But John, I think John kind of hit it on the head. I think they're looking at the end game, because think about it like this: we know Game Boy and Game Boy Color is coming, right? Those get added, no price increase. Let's say they aim to bring in Game Boy Advance. Let's say they aim to bring in GameCube. And hey, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. Let's say they bring in Dreamcast. They brought in Genesis, so why not Dreamcast? Let's say they do that, but don't actually increase the price because they're looking at the end game and maybe add on more possible expansions in the future. Then I think the price is worth it 100%. But as of now, I think it's Nintendo just looking at that end game and just taking the hits that come with it, because there is a lot of hits of people very upset about the cash.
I mean, yeah, and ideally that's sort of what's best to look at, is what is the future of it. I mean, if it just stays that price point, yeah, will be good with all that stuff. If they still continue to increase the price once they add stuff, well,
that's where
Nintendo may have fucked up.
Yeah.
If they continue to update the price and increase it every time they add something to it, then I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And again, you said this is a yearly or monthly?
Yeah, this is a yearly. So I mean, let's be real. I don't think that price is bad. $50 for a year, it's not a bad price. It's just what you're paying for, and what's coming with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, I think the price is very fair for a year.
I was about to say, for a year, that's actually not bad. Because when you think about it, when people do like monthly things,
yeah,
you'll spend more than that easily on your month thing. It just doesn't hit it much versus that's a yearly thing, even if the content's sort of shallow at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If they do add more stuff, it's better. But I mean, $60 price point for a year, that's actually not that bad.
No, it's not. Again, it just comes back to what's on it,
Yeah, because like Alex said, it's like compared to something like Game Pass. Game Pass has I don't know how many titles they have, but
it's quite a lot.
It's like they have a shitload of them, and they're pretty much committed at this point to like their big games that come out are also dropping on Game Pass as well to help
on
push
day
the
one,
sales
yeah.
for it. Because Back for Blood as well, that dropped on Game Pass. It's like I was gonna buy Back for Blood, realized it was gonna be on Game Pass, and I just downloaded it yesterday when I was looking through, because the Xbox app popped up on my computer, and I went, oh yeah, that is available there. I'll just download it real quick and then have it for when I want to play it.
Mm-hmm. And I Nintendo is so tough to predict on things, because Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. You think they're going to do one thing, like you think they're going to go left and they go backwards. I mean, it's tough to predict them, but I can't help but to think, Nintendo sees the unbelievable success of Game Pass, right? And maybe they want to try to get to that point with their Switch Online, because they have such a rich catalog of games that they see people want, because they sell for ridiculously high prices, as we've talked about before. So that's why I can't help but to think that maybe they want to try to get to that route, and that's why for the price, they went ahead and just did what they're going to kind of view as their in-game price as more stuff comes out over time.
If Nintendo wouldn't do that, they would have done that years ago. Nintendo found their niche, and that's take a game, remaster it every year or two, sell it again for a reasonable price, and they'll make lots of money. Then they wait a year and a half, re-release it again, same price.
Yep.
People will buy it without question.
Yep.
Yeah, but now with their expansion pass and their cloud storage for these older console games, now it's like Alex said, they might be trying to emulate the Game Pass portion of it, which that took a long time to get good, and to become where people were excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo, at the rate they release things, it could be
a long time.
It could be a couple years before it's really worth it, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or who knows? Maybe they are gonna try to speed run this and release it all in the next year or so.
I think one possible thing to consider with their plan is that them doing what they're doing now is kind of just scratching the surface for what they're going to do. And when this next generation console comes out, that's when they're going to really kind of dive into it and maybe expand it more. Because again, I mean, let's be realistic. That console's happening. I mean, it's just their next console. That's all it is. Don't, like I said, stop calling it Switch Pro.
I'm really hoping it's not.
What?
I really hope it's not happening.
I mean, it's gonna happen. You can hope all you want. You can hope in one hand, shit in the other, but I mean, it's happening. It's just because I mean, it's just their new console. It's all it is. Which, you know, if those possible reports for the Pokemon thing is true, I mean, that'd be a hell of a launch though of Gen 9 and then Breath of the Wild, because you could only assume Breath of the Wild will just launch alongside of it and release the same way that it did with the Switch, where you have the Wii U version and the Switch version.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside is I feel like there wouldn't be like, you know, since the current Breath of the Wild game is obviously being built with the current hardware that we have, it's not going to be like some true next gen Zelda experience. It's just going to look prettier. I mean, that's all it'll be. It won't be a true experience because it's not built for it. But no, I mean, the pricing, like Zach said, $50 for a year, not bad. And like John said, you know, this is them probably looking at the end game. So people just need to calm down, but it's Nintendo fans, so they will not calm down. This is how it goes.